such a and such a
Raindrops.
Raindrops and bitch and scarves. Hey, that's a logo we haven't seen in a while. Like,
What, Double Helix?
no, oh no, Capcom.
You won't be seeing Double Helix. Amazon done bought them.
Yeah, and that was after the success of this little game that we're doing, and So we're checking out on this week's play. We're checking out Strider, the modern take on it, and I'm digging it just because I feel like it's more of a throwback to the original arcade Strider versus like an extension or expansion on Strider 2. Mm-hmm. It's fucking it's beautiful too. Like, I'm playing right now. We're checking this little beaut out on the Xbox One. So some shit's going down. But anyway, yeah.
It does remind you of the arcade game.
Man,
but yeah. Like there's a sense of empowerment that you really don't get from the original arcade. It's weird. It combines the sensibilities of Strider 2 on PlayStation with the arcade, and even then, like, dude, just cleaning house, and like, have you noticed that like you really don't have to stop and move at all? You can even deflect like bullets straight up, and there we go. Chivo for being Strider, for fucking hitting that shit clean.
This game's very Metroidvania.
It actually, funny enough,
kind of
is actually.
Oh shit! I wasn't even trying that time.
Yeah, no. You do learn abilities, and we're kind of foreshadowing another video that you can go ahead and click on sooner or later. But yeah, that's the one thing. Like I said, it combines like the sensibilities of Strider 2 as far as expansive abilities, but does the arcade. It basically has the simplicity of the arcade, but they're huge expansive worlds, and see, in these little areas right here, you learn abilities. So right now, I believe
Metroidvania.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing though. It's like, I want to say it's like concentrated segments of Metroidvania.
Well, yeah, because like I was just looking at that highlighted, red grading. I was like, well, what the fuck do you do? How do you? I know you have to hit that, but how? Oh, and you get the power.
Hey, look at that. There's also like an auto-filling map.
Convenient.
That map that you were talking about. Yeah, but see,
just saying.
Like this particular area, but it's segmented by levels. So this giant explorable area that has like specific points of interest that I can access through abilities. Once I finish this level, I am never going to come back to it. There's no backtracking, which, that essentially with Metroidvania being a giant world, you would think, oh, I can backtrack to it, but it's not. They're all little stages, but they're giant stages that involve objectives through exploration with nuance. I don't know. It's weird. But at the same time, like, I never associate it with being Metroidvania, because I'm just, dude, this game does not give you any fucking room to breathe. There's constantly shit coming at you.
Well, it seems like it's one of those games that you don't want to stand still at all. I mean, you do want to be constantly, moving. A sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you're always moving, a sense of motion.
Yeah, it's a very frenetic fucking game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, though, is that, like, the game, like, I feel like in points where you do need to stop and get your bearings, the game kind of suffocates you with, like, all this action on screen. Like, I don't know.
It's nice that the camera does zoom in when the action's kind of close up, and then the camera pans out as, more things are kind of coming into focus.
This is true. I mean, yeah. I dig that, but there's just... there's just so much shit happening right now.
Yeah, I don't even know where you would go to like finish this level. Like, where do you go? I'd get lost pretty damn quick. The level's so big.
The thing is, as Sarah mentioned, I mean, there is that mini map to the right up there.
Yeah.
So eventually, I'm discovering that I'll need to, take out these little Contra-like drones. I love too that like you see those electric drones that just fucking electrified the shit out of me because, you do have the freedom to really just climb the sides of buildings and everything, and that's the thing. The game is very cryptic in its navigation. That's where a lot of the secrets will generally lie, or sides of buildings you wouldn't assume are climbable, and they are. And then they'll usually throw those electric drones and be like, "No, you can't climb this. What are you doing? Get back down."
Not yet. It just makes me sad that Double Helix got bought out by Amazon because they made this and Killer Instinct. It could have been a perfect. I could have gotten Strider in my Killer Instinct, and now it's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, I don't know what Amazon's gonna do with their acquisition of Double Helix because, like, they've never really. I mean, of course, they're developing hardware and software, and I mean, they do a lot of streaming or digital services, but acquiring one particular studio, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be business as usual for Double Helix, and they're just going to be working on other properties, just under the publishing of Amazon.
Well, it just seems like they probably wouldn't go to like one platform. With Amazon, they'd probably want to go for either multiple, consoles and platforms, or just something like Amazon doing their own game system or game console. Like then they'll put that game exclusively on that.
Amazon buys GameStick
on that platform. Oh God, someone needs to because no one's buying it at all.
No, not at all. You guys, and then here you guys are talking shit on the Ouya. At least it's not the.
Well, I'm saying GameStick soup's cheap right now though. If they had games for it, I probably would buy it.
I was actually able to buy some Ouya controllers on the cheap at Best Buy. They had a nice little sale for them. It was great.
How
They're
much?
They're still not good though.
Yeah, they're still not good, but whatever. They're $15. So and here we go. We've got the first boss, and this is where the game begins to no longer humble you.
Oh, you thought you were the shit. Well, no.
Yeah. And it's weird because he has a very deceptive pattern. I believe he does kind of show me what's up. I get a grasp on it, but it's just you have the sense when you have the ability to just attack constantly the way Strider does.
Ooh.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Smoked out.
Done.
And see, I don't know comparatively how Strider loads on the other versions, but the loading times are pretty brutal on the Xbox One.
So
but yeah,
okay, in terms of playability and graphics and stuff, have you played any other versions or?
I
seen them or?
I played. Okay, so I played the one on 360. There is a notable gloss of difference, but it. Honestly, I don't think it's enough to really, deter you. I don't think it's a deal breaker for you to grab it on 360 versus one. I mean, assumedly, considering the one is so new, of course I'm gonna grab up games on the one. On the 4, I heard it's really smooth. It's like butter. However, with HDCP going on the 4, there's really no footage of that fucking thing going on right now.
Update's going to remove that though.
Yeah,
That's true.
that update, I don't know when it's happening though. I don't know.
Nice POW symbol. That's classic.
Yeah, see, so the POW symbols are like the collectibles. They'll bring up concept art and do other stuff. And they're
are there Yashichis around or what's the deal? Like that little pinwheel? You know what I'm talking about. It's in every Capcom game.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And I don't think they're in this. I don't know if they're in every Capcom game. I've only seen those fuckers in Gunsmoke.
Well, they're also in 1942, 1943. They're in XX's. I think they're in Section Z. Pretty sure they're in Legendary Wings.
You've named every game you've named is NES.
A bunch of them, yeah.
Yeah, Well,
okay, so how about 1943 Joint Strike? That's Xbox 360. Just saying.
Yeah, so it true. But I don't know. But I know what you're talking about. It's funny enough, I mostly remember them in Gunsmoke, and I remember them being completely out of place too, because it's a fucking Western game, and they look like pinwheel kunais. So yeah, eventually I take that fucker out, and again, it's more abilities. Like now all these abilities come with you and whatnot, but a lot of them are artifices or otherwise upgrades to existing abilities. So here I'm given a charge up attack to, activate different modules. There are enemies thrown at me with shields. Again, I don't know. The one thing that I find weird about this game, I mean, it's fun, but it's so action heavy that I feel like I need to slash. I feel like I only have time to slash first and think later, but the game does have you think. And like right there, I could have completely missed that upgrade had I not gone down there and realized that there was a module that would react with that. Because this is not the way. So, I mean, they're really like just concentrated moments of Metroidvania. But the game, I don't know, man. It's definitely fun. I will say that.
I just kind of worry it's maybe more style over substance. Like it looks great. I don't know. It seems like to me, it seems like there's too much going on. Like you said, it makes you want to think that you should just be hacking and slashing, but it wants you to think about what you're doing and plan your next move. But it's going so, like you said, like the word frantic. I mean, to me, that's exactly what it seems like. It's frantic. It's hard to be thinking and being kind of, a little more, quick. It almost seems like you need to be quick to move, but it kind of forces you not to. It seems like it's kind of all over the place.
And there's that one moment you saw me like hung up on the wall. The climbing is, I would have to say that's the only like hiccup really that the control has. The climbing, once you'll automatically like, cling to a wall. So like grabbing onto a wall or going up beside it isn't difficult. It's almost kind of got like that magnetism sort of mechanic that like you would find in Infamous games. But then like moving up and about walls that are like at a slant, it's so difficult because then it's almost like you're not going up, you're going left. But if you go to left, that's the game reacting with you coming off of the wall. So that, for example, as you see me fall off this fucking dragon, that's exactly what happened. And it's a constantly waving, like all the different angles will completely change up just what sort of access I need to lean against the thumbstick. So did you see how I'm like suffering there from the climbing? So climbing can also be a bit bitchy. I don't know. But yeah, here, this is kind of a throwback boss. I remember him being in the original arcade. Not so fucking crazy, of course, but he did fight a dragon in the original arcade Strider, am I right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I remember the big monkey.
Seen the original.
Oh, the gorilla monkey? Yeah. You know, you do. It's at the very end, dude, when you interrupt that crazy like surgeon general hall or something, like the giant hall of like political assholes that I can only recall. I don't know. You don't really see those giant like rooms anymore unless it's like depicting a public surgery or operation or anything. Remember that was a thing when you can watch people get operated on? Is that even a thing anymore?
It was like on TV, wasn't it?
What, like people getting operated on?
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about, though. Like, there'd be this giant... Oh, it's almost like an arena.
What?
Like a coliseum?
Yeah, it was like mid-90s that was going down, I thought.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never seen, like, in media where they'll have, like, surgeons perform an operation, and they'll have, like, other doctors and people sit around in, like, this arena-like structure and watch them get operated on? So, by the way, not to get too off track, the fact that we're supposed to be talking about the video game happening right now. There's wind that's currently fucking with me here, and
and platforming.
Yeah, and I think it really goes to a testament of back to the climbing. I think when Strider reacts to anything that isn't flat ground, like, the controls don't know how to react with it. So, yeah. I mean, this may not sound like an issue later. I'm sorry, like right now. It even kind of is with this boss fight. But later on in the game, it's a mess. But it's still, there's some shit going, ooh. Show your little bone. And this is where the game gets weird, like Contra-like. Like, when the fuck did that become an alien? I was expecting it to blow up, and then it just shows me its predator-ass gaping mouth. Man, I feel like it's weird that me and Sarah know we're on the same level here, but like Andrew, like you've never seen like anything where there'd be like that. Like, I guess a public viewing of a operation or a surgery. I mean, it's the same thing. Operations.
Not really. No, honestly, what channels were you guys watching when you guys were watching TV?
Even being like movies and whatnot.
I mean, I've seen like weird movies from like, you know, Victorian era where like, you know, they do like.
No, this is a little bit more modern, like 70s, 80s.
Oh, really? What the hell?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no idea.
I'm trying to think of a movie that would like incorporate that. Hell, it's like I'm thinking of like a gag right now that they did in Ren and Stimpy. Yeah. Like,
no,
it's almost like a
completely oblivious
like a stereotype.
Oh, crazy.
Anyway.
No idea.
Well, that's what the and yeah. So this dude comes out randomly and gives propagandic messages, and you guys can see I'm in a new level. So. It's weird. So this level in itself is a giant roamable stage with Metroidvania elements, but after I complete a specific objective, I'll move on to a later area that will be a stage, and it'll be a while before I come back to this area. So it's not a complete free roaming Metroidvania. It's basically kind of like a stage.
So wait, hold on. You said you're coming back to this area? That sounds like Metroidvania to me.
But I come back to this area in a level. And like the areas that I was in beforehand are only partly accessible.
Right.
So it's kind of
Metroidvania.
Like, well, no,
yeah,
it's partly.
Exactly.
Okay, so like imagine this entire stage and then imagine it coming back in like say stage 7, but half of it's permanently gated off and I can never come back to it. Like, it's just completely gated off. It's yeah, exactly. It's weird. And like I said, they're all separated by stages. Which, like, basically, there are missable collectibles. Kind of like, you know, in South Park Stick of Truth. You know, if you don't get it within a certain area, you'll never come back to that area again. This game's kind of had that structure where you're in that same stage, but like it just permanently locks away the area, and the only way you were able to access it is if you know, use your explorative know-how to discover it within the proper stage. So yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It is.
This game's just filled with fucking bosses too, dude.
Yeah, it is.
But the thing about it is, like, once you defeat the boss, they're just enemies now that you encounter throughout the rest of the game. They basically become, you know, an enemy type, which is weird. You know, and if there's one thing I didn't mention earlier that I should mention, did anybody play Strider on the NES?
Yes.
Yeah, this game plays a lot of homage to it.
Really?
Like, yeah, like
as opposed to the original.
Well, right. It does both. I mean, like, you're seeing all the crazy playstyle and action of like the original, but like,
what does the hear you gauge do in the corner there? What is that? Like when you're doing combos, it builds up. What's the purpose?
It's for an ability later on. It's basically like when you're so like I'll learn abilities later on that will like clear out enemies. Like they're and like it's weird. So like I should be earning it in a bit, but there's like this eagle that you can summon, this like energy eagle, like hear my call, and like it'll basically have two effects. It'll be a screen clearing attack, or in certain areas of interest, it will actually transport you to another area of the stage, and that's the only way you can get to that area of the stage is by having it interact with those areas.
Right.
Yeah, the game, like I said, it's really weird. and how it does that, but everything, I mean, it telegraphs pretty well, like, what you can do with certain abilities once you learn them. Like, I will say this, like, the world itself is pretty cognitive. It's just that you're almost driven into this mindset, especially for, like, completionists, to, like, just fucking bump and grind against every nook and cranny. Because, like I said, there's gated collectibles, and I mean, if for certain people might care about that. And I couldn't tell you if it's just really to gated collectibles or if there are even optional abilities, because the game is huge. There's a lot going on. I don't know, but it is, man, I will say this, it's fucking beautiful. And like, I think it's using the same engine that Killer Instinct's even using.
It seems pretty similar, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah, but there are certain other abilities as well that you get. No other weapons though. You're constantly fucking using that sword, which, I mean, that's kind of the motif, of all Strider games. But
yeah,
I don't know. I was kind of hoping that there'd be a little bit more involved with the combat, because I will say this, like, the combat makes you feel like a badass, but it really just makes you feel like a badass because it's almost like Dynasty Warriors, like Toast was saying. You're just, you feel like a badass because you're just fucking kept busy. There's not a whole bunch more going on.
A warrior worth 1,000.
God damn it. Oh, what's that? I feel like I need to throw in a cheesy Dynasty Warrior quote, but I can't remember.
Feel my magic.
Was there an old band? I don't remember. So
Don't pursue Lou Boo.
There you go. So, and again, like, I have a downward strike ability that I got from that last boss. So if you guys recall from that previous area, there were gated areas like that, but I can't access them yet because there's another ability beyond that I'll need in order to get it. So this little area, for example, you're going to see me access a room here in a bit. If I didn't access that room in this area, I would never have been able to get that collectible again. Yeah, it's, like I said, man, the game's very punishing and, like...
Yeah, a little brutal.
But, we were kind of talking about, like, what could they do to kind of change up the genre or make it more palatable, as opposed to just following this, like, cookie-cutter list of conventions. I think this game does a pretty good job of that.
I like how it's like you said, that was a boss, not even a couple minutes ago. Now it's just random enemy just showing up on the screen. Yeah,
exactly. You will fight so, like, in like every stage there's an introduction of a mini boss. So with every stage, I mean, like, once you get to, like, stage 6, there's, like, it's really pushing the hardware of, I would assume, any of its respective formats to just include as much as they can on screen. And, like, all these enemies, man, they've got some fucking stupid good accuracy. Like, you guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed, and again, like, the game kind of, the combat gives you, like, this real sense of empowerment to where you can just slash away. But, dude, I'm constantly getting hit. And like, even when I try to be evasive, I can't, because there's just too much going on. Have you guys noticed all those little balls I've been, like, just fucking, like, one right there? That's all health. So the stage is constantly equipped with, like, just all these caches of health, just because, like, it wants to give you everything you need just to fucking actually get by and try not to die, or at least give you a chance. I can only assume that the higher difficulties, like, limit the frequency of those caches. But yeah, the sense of direction isn't exactly the best either, at least in here, because everything's so dark right now.
The more I watch this being played, I almost get like a Shadow Complex vibe from it. But apparently that's just, I get that from every 2D game like this. I don't know. It's like I said, I think everything's Metroidvania now if it's like this. If it's in this kind of, like, style.
But I don't know. Like I said, it kind of defeats like what I think is the
well, yeah, because
factor.
it's not. Yeah, because of the fact that you can always go back. This you can't at all. Like once you're done, you're done.
Yeah. So it's almost like I don't know. It's weird. It's like Metrocade.
Ooh.
I still contest that just because you can't go back doesn't necessarily mean that it's not Metroidvania.
I like how right there the train becomes like an environmental thing you have to kind of worry about too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird too because it's very like everything within the stage and the environment because the graphics are so sharp or it's really organic.
Yeah.
But what were you saying, Sarah, about Metroid?
Yeah, I mean,
I was just saying that just because you can't go back, I don't think that's the defining factor that doesn't make it Metroidvania. If all the rest of the pieces are in place, then it more or less is.
Oh man. Hail someone. It's almost like I said hail Super Cow. Is that like that like one of the enemies you take on later on? that poster or whatever it was. Did you guys see it in that room?
I didn't see it. I was trying to think too.
It was like an orange poster or something.
Super Cow. Well,
I'm sure it's probably not that at all. It's just the way I saw it when it popped up.
The story has like a dystopian take on it. Like you see
There's a story.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing. The exposition's terrible, but
I haven't seen a single cutscene yet.
Well, no, but you've seen that little dude pop up and like basically, kind of harass like the citizens or whatnot. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the one thing. The sense of direction is no bueno.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there are definitely story segments that happen. They're just I don't know. It's really weird. But like
it's like I said, I feel like it's more style over substance than anything else.
The substance is there. It's just it's very I don't want to say flawed, but it's
well, Strider's always been
rough.
Flawed. Let's be real.
Yeah, Strider's always been about like fucking fast, like crazy, cut 'em up action, fucking slice and dice, slash and shoot. Well, no shoot, but just basically, and it's always kind of featured like insane odds. It's just that I feel like it takes that sensibility and then it just runs with it, like past the end zone, past the crowd, outside of the arena, and it doesn't stop. It just keeps going. And it's weird because while it's trying to do that, it's giving you all these other things to multitask yourself with. Like here, this is fine. This little area, this segment that gave me 2 mini bosses to contend with, so that way I can move on. This is fine, but like, I wouldn't have been surprised if it gave me like 4 other enemies that would constantly respawn and constantly happen, and then a secret entrance that I needed to concern myself with. Like, there's some shit going on. Oh.
Uh-oh. Damn.
Yeah, so we've got Peepoo.
And the thing I hate most is like when they do those like quick cuts to like the boss, it obviously like kind of invokes like Borderlands kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of stuff going on. And each of these characters like they're from Monday Night Combat. Like just I don't know where they got this like art, just the design in general from, but I don't know. I get, if anything, it's a good homage to the game because it is kind of cheesy, It is a pretty good homage to the original, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, I love too that they always make like the group of Striders like disposable, but Strider Hiryu is like the fucking prototypical one.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Took her out.
It's pretty easy.
And like, yeah, well, she was made easy because of the charge attack. So here's that robot eagle that I was telling you guys about. I got to find that eagle perch, but I just summoned him. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's the game is ridiculous, but it's a good ridiculous. I'd say it's worth the price tag. Until then, this has been Strider on Press Pause Radio Play. Thanks for watching with us, guys. Hope you guys dug it.
Future Eagle.